Time to check in on our VFO while we wait for parts for our DX60B.
Could this scene take place in your household?
Hey, Mom. Oh, Mom, you know about that radio that went dead this morning? Pop said he'd fix it tonight. Well, he did. Our radio's in a worse mess than the alarm clock was when I went to work on it.
Good day, and welcome back to Mike's Radio Repair and Restoration. We're going to take our second look at our HG-10B VFO for the DX60B amplifier. I think we're going to take a look at calibration, and we're going to look at grid block keying. I don't think it's going to be a long video. I think the VFO is in pretty good shape, and let's get to it. So right now I have the power supply in the DX60 kind of rebuilt. I'm waiting for a few other parts, but at least I can liven up part of the circuit that fires up the VFO. And we can see that the lights are on behind the roller drum. The big thing here is grid block keying. Some people had complained there were problems that they couldn't get their neon light to refire. What happens is the set provides a negative bias voltage to the oscillator tube, which prevents it from oscillating. And when you take that voltage away or you ground it, then it goes into oscillation, and that's how you turn the VFO off and on. And I can do that here on the front right now. It's in the standby, oh, I'm sorry, right now, where am I? I'm in the standby position. So here we go into operate, waiting for a signal from the transmitter to turn on. So you can see the neon light is on. That means that the bias voltage is present and the VFO will not be operational. But if I go into spot, which is like simulating transmitter operation, you'll see the light goes out and away the oscillator should go. So that all looks good. And as previous, we went through all the resistors and cleaned the contacts and lubricated the shafts. And so really the only thing left to do is to check calibration. I've done a little bit already, and I'm going to share a little bit of what I've discovered and its results. So just hang on a second and I'll get that set up. Okay, so we're looking at the top of the chassis here. There are 3 tunable inductors, as you can see, and there are 5 tunable ceramic capacitors for, and this is for bringing the dial into calibration. So when you put your dial at 7 megahertz, that's what you get out of it. So I've coupled my poor man's spectrum analyzer in simply by having ground on the chassis and just a simple loop of wire around the oscillator tube. I don't need to directly couple. I indirectly couple or capacitively couple here. The tube is going to radiate RF. This is not going to give us a true reading of amplitude or being able to track actual output power, but this will give us a good idea, or pretty much a bang-on idea, of what frequency our VFO is operating at. So let's take a look at that. Okay, so I've previously done a little bit of calibration on this unit. We're going to go through it together. One of the main things is that it's been running for a good hour. It's nice and warm. You certainly don't want to calibrate it cold. And right now, I'm on the 40 meter band. And the calibration points are discussed in the manual at length. The procedure is discussed in the manual at length. I'll post this on our help group so that you can review it. If you want to watch the video and review what you read, dandy. So on my poor man spectrum analyzer, I have 7 megahertz. It's the low end of the 40 meter band, and I have 7.3 megahertz, which is the high end. So when I tune, I'm going to turn to spot. So there we have our signal. So when I tune, I'm bang on 7, and my dial says bang on 7 because I've already gone through with the little inductor and the capacitor. So now, if I tune to 7.3, we should see the carrier come back. We're going to go all the way. 7.1, 7.2. We're coming up on 7.3. We should see the signal, and there it is. I bring that right to tune to 7.3, and bang, my dial calibration is on. Now, something we're going to discover together. We're going to find out how accurate Heathkit made these dials, because the inductor and capacitor for 40 meters or 7 megahertz is the same for, let's just see here now, 20 meters, 15 meters, and 10 meters. So that means that that is working on harmonics rather than there being another tank or an RCL network. It's using the same network, but it's using spurs or multiples harmonics going up the band. So we'll get set up and we'll go to 20 and we'll see if the 20 is on. But honestly, is if 20 is not on, there's not a lot you can do about it, because if you adjust 20, which the manual doesn't want you to do, then 7 goes out. They want you to align it on 7, and hopefully, 20, 15, and 10 should be on frequency. So let's go through them and see how accurate it is. 40's on. We know that. We can see it's working good. So let's look at 20. So I'll set up for 20 and be right back. Okay, we're back. We're set up on 14 and 14.3. If it's on, it'll be a miracle. I'd eat my hat if it's on. So we'll go into operate here now. So I'm set on. Oops, let's go to 20. So it's close. Maybe within a kilohertz or so. At 14, let's go up to 14.3. I'm not holding my breath, and there's not a lot you can do about this. I did notice, there it is there. So there's bang on, but again, it's, 3 or 4 kilohertz out of the top. Not wonderful, but livable. Because this is only a rough guide, and you're using your crystal calibrator or your zero beating on the station that you're dealing with to get on frequency. But your crystal calibrator and your receiver is pretty paramount to be able to use this, because you can tune in on your receiver, get a sharp point on your receiver, then zero beat to your own receiver to find out where you are frequency-wise. I did notice, and maybe some of you other folks realize this as well, it seems the Heathkit company started back up. There's a new website. I don't know how new it is. Maybe I'll reel that back in. I've sent an email and got no response, but they're apparently making an upgraded dial for this VFO. I sent away an email about it, and I didn't get a response. And I looked at their Facebook page, and their Facebook page hasn't been updated in a very long time. So it looks like somebody had reimagined or recreated Heathkit for a while, but I'm not so sure it survived or it's still in business. So maybe their newer dial would be sharper than this one. So anyway, so that's off a little bit. Let's go up to 15 just for giggles and see how 15 does. So I'll be back in just a minute when I get set up. Okay, here we go. We're at 21 and 21.3. I got 21 on the dial here, so we'll turn it on. And you can see that our output is getting a little weaker because we're on harmonics, which doesn't excite me, but you know what? It works. So 21 is on. So we'll go up to 21.3 and we'll see how it does. My guess it'll be similar to 20 and out a little bit. There it is there. Now we'll tune it bang on there, and the dial is maybe 2 kilohertz out. Not bad. Not bad. Not wonderful, but not too horrible. Okay, so we'll go 10 meters, and I'll be back in a sec when I set up for that. Okay, so we're set at 28 and 29 megahertz respectively. That's quite a chunk of band there, a whole megahertz. So we'll just see here now. 28 is not too bad. It's, maybe 1.5 kilohertz out. We'll roll up to 29, not holding breath. I'm sure it'll be acceptable. There's the signal there. We bring it on to 29-ish. Very touchy at the higher frequencies. And you know what? That's not bad. It's almost on. It's almost on. So we're sharp on 40. We lose a little bit on 20 and 15, and we're not so bad on 10. But that's quite livable. I mean, for a homebrew kit that you brought home and cobbled together and read instructions and had a good time putting it together, it's actually not bad, considering the price point. And um, one of the better VFOs out there is the Viking 122 is probably the best for stability. I think this is in the price class. There's some better ones out there, but they're hard to find and a lot of money. But in the average guy price class, I think the 122 from the Johnson Company is the best. I think this is the second best, with the VF1 following in as a third. The 122 Vikings got some very nice air variable caps and some very nice components in it, where this uses a ceramic caps, which aren't so bad, but I mean, it could be better. So I mean, it's working. It's all right. So the next thing I'm going to do with this is put it back in a case and call it done, and we'll have to go back on with our DX60. I've got parts coming forward in a few days, and we'll be able to get that rocking. So at this point, we're going to call our VFO good. We're going to put the cover back on it, and we're going to set it aside and wait to get our transmitter done. So thanks for tuning in. I guess we're going to end this video here with that. Please don't forget to click the like button and subscribe. And our goal with this project is to completely rebuild this station, the HG-10B, the DX60B, and this VFO, and get it on the air and make some contacts here on YouTube, which I think will just be exciting. It'll give you an idea of what some of the original folks did. Like, so many people started out with this setup, and a lot of nostalgia. And I see a lot of comments coming in. Yeah, that was my first novice rig. Rah rah rah. So that's really interesting. So we'll get it cooking and up on the air and make some contacts. So again, like I say, I'm going to end this video here. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.